Good morning, folks. Hey, I got up early to do some last minute Christmas shopping. Got that all done. I did a video earlier and checked around the house, see what's going on. One son's at work, the other son's going to work, and my wife is doing something. So I've got time. Let's do another installment on the Red Book of Magic. We are still in S spells, which is going to be number 6, I think, of I'm not sure how many. It's going to be more than 10 now, which is also number 2 of our summon spells. So that's the Y of summon spells. Okay. Summon Cult Spirit. Old spell, right? The rune varies depending upon the cult spirit, not the cult. I disagree. 1 to 3 points. I think it's actually a backwash from summoning elementals. Okay. 1 to 3 points depending upon the cult spirit. Again, I think this is a backwash from elementals because when you summon a spirit, it has power and charisma, sometimes intelligence. So a normal cult spirit is going to have 2 points or 3. So I think the 1 to 3 points for rune points, or 2 to 3 points for rune points would be similar to binding spirits, right? It takes 2 points of binding to bind a normal spirit with 2 points, right? Okay, that's what I'm thinking. Not sure what they're thinking. Okay, so this spell allows the caster to ask the deity to send a cult spirit. Could be an elemental, right? That's a special subcategory of cult spirit, right? Otherwise, they're just spirits, right? They've got spells and stuff that can help you do whatever it is you're trying to do. We need somebody to come down and do require truth. Send us a spirit who can do that for us. Or, sun spears are always cool though, right? We've got all these trolls. Send somebody down to throw some sun spears at them. That would be cool, although sun spears have sunlight. But maybe the spirit also knows the daylight spell. There's a spell that does daylight, right? Okay, so anyway, that's what I'm thinking. Spirits that know spells to help you do your thing. And elementals. But there's a separate, completely different spell for elementals, which we'll get to. Okay. When you summon a cult spirit, oh, here we go. The size, again, that's my question. What's the size thing? The only spirit I know of that has size are, elementals, snake daughters, demons, maybe other genus loci. I don't know. That I think is an improper word. But anyway, so the size depends upon the number of rune points stacked. Good to go. So 1 to 3. What's a one size spirit? Sounds like one stat to me. And we don't have power spirits in this game. Those are in Runequest 3. Okay. But anyway, spirit arrives on strike rank 12. Okay. Spell may be cast simultaneously with the command cult spirit spell. Although they say spell. Cult spirit spell. I interpret this also to the whole bound spirit thing, right? If you've got a bound spirit, you can command it to do one thing. I think it's one thing in return, right? But if you cast command on it, it doesn't get a save. And then the entire time it's out, it does what you say, right? So you can have it do different things. I think it's the same way. You cast command cult spirit at the same time you cast summon cult spirit. It doesn't get a saving throw, and you've got total control of it when it gets here. Also, since they're both cult spells, in fact, they're common spells, aren't they? I know command is the summon cult spirit. Yes, summon cult spirit is a common rune spell, as is command cult spirit. So we're using our cult runes to do both Don't roll twice, just roll once. They go together, right? It's kind of like fighting from horseback, the lower one, but since it's the same skill, c'est la vie. Okay. Da, 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 da. It goes on to talk about how summon elemental is a specific example, a specific subcategory of this spell. Other variants exist. They talk about this, right? Sean and Roy call this summon healing spirits. Healing spirits just have power. I did not think of that. Sorry, I digress. Disease spirits only have power. Healing spirits only have power. Okay. So there are some one stat spirits out there. Did not think of that. Interesting. Okay. So there we go. 1 to 3. I'm going to talk about, and Gizi calls it summoning a Naiad. Naiad has every stat. Does that mean we need to have 7 rune points to summon her? No, she's a special kind of 2-point summon spell. Okay. Summon dead. New spell. Must be performed over the corpse, grave, or remains of the individual to be summoned. Right? You must know their name. And here gets us some Glorantha knowledge that I don't have, right? Okay. The target, being the spirit of this corpse, must presently be residing within Tai Koratek's vast caverns of the dead. Where are the caverns of the dead? And what process of dying does that occur? Obviously, well, not obviously, but the spirit stays near the body for the first 7 days, right? After that, you can't resurrect. So after that, you go to the underworld, right? You got to cross the river of swords. You got to go to no, Mandos. That's Lord of the Rings. You have to go to the Hall of Judgment, where I guess the Grandpa Mortal is, kind of thing, and from there you get sent, to hopefully your god's, paradise, kind of thing, right? So where are the Caverns of the Dead? Is that the whole place? Is the whole thing called the Caverns of the Dead? I don't know. That's where, and if they are there, then the ghost is able to rise up. If they're somewhere else, if they're not in the Caverns of the Dead, you can't summon the ghost. Okay. Summon Demon, new spell. 1 to 3 points, depending upon size, as demons do come in 3 sizes, small, medium, and large. Just like elementals. Okay. The caster asks Sargash. I don't know who Sargash is. I don't recall that name from Cults of Facts and the bad guy cult book. Okay, but you ask him to send a demon from the underworld. The size of the demon depends on the number of rune points stacked. Once summoned, the demon seeks destruction and mayhem and immediately attacks the nearest target. Unless the summoner also casts the command cult spirit spell. Again, I would say to do this, what's the word? Simultaneously, right? Because if you do it afterwards, he's already making a mess of things. Okay. If successful, the demon serves as summoner until the spell expires or is physically destroyed. I'm assuming that if successful applies to the command cult spirit, which begs the question of how long does the demon stay? How long does the demon stay if you don't do command cult spirit on it? I would say the same, 15 minutes, just like any other normal spell that you cast, unless you do extension with it, right? Okay. New spell, summon dolphin. Summon the dolphin. To the sea waters nearest to the caster. The dolphin is friendly to worshippers of Horalinthor. Don't know that one. And are inclined to help them. Inclined, which means you need to convince, I believe. How do you speak to dolphins? Remember, right? Speak to fish didn't talk about that. Okay. Summon elemental. Out of the blue book, okay? The rune varies upon the elemental being summoned, and I can kind of see this. You don't summon an air elemental from Orlanth with the mobility rune. Oh, you could argue you can because it's a common spell. That's the rune, right? The magic rune. Size or rune points is 1 to 3 depending upon size. Okay. Again, you're asking your deity to send an elemental. The size depends on the rune point stack. Elements come in 3 sizes: small, medium, and large. So elements are 1 cubic meter, 1 by 1 by 1. 2 rune points stacked. Summon a medium elemental, which fills 3 cubic meters, 1 by 3 by 1, I believe. And I've had issues with the description of elementals since the publication of the Quick Start. I have my own interpretation of it. Okay, for 3 rune points stacked, summons a large elemental, 10 cubic meters, 2 by 5 by 1. I don't know. The way I do it is because I use hexes. I use hexes, right? So small elemental, 1 cubic meter, right? Medium elemental is 3 by 3. That's how I do it, right? Specifically for the air elements, because you got to be able to throw them all that distance in order to do damage to them. And then maybe hex out here. I should, but I don't see it. And then large elementals are a mega hex. It's actually 7 hexes, right? But they also go up, or in the case of an earth elemental, down, the depth required or the height required for the spell to do its thing, right? That's how I do it. That way you can have an elemental, or maybe it's 2 by 5 by 1. This just made more sense to me. So that's my premise. For volume, for radius, 1, 3 megahex, which is 7, right? And then the height depends upon, normally it's just 1, sometimes it's 3. More than that for these large elementals, I'm not sure. For like the earth elemental, will swallow a horse and rider whole. That's how deep it is, and it's 7 hexes wide. So you can get 3 riders at once, kind of deal, if you really wanted to, and if they were silly enough to all ride together. Okay, enough of that. Once summoned, an elemental acts according to its nature and cult affiliation. An uncontrolled elemental may playfully destroy things around it, wander away, or attack those who are hostile to its god. I would even say its element, right? Because you can have, maybe not. We don't want earth elementals attacking earth priestesses, right? No. Okay, hostile to the god. Good to go. Pick up that Orlanth stamp on it. Okay. If the summoner casts an appropriate command cult spirit spell, I cast spell this time, and overcomes the elemental's power, the elemental serves the summoner until it's physically destroyed or the spell ends. Good go. Perfect explanation if you cast it after it arrives. I would say you still get the opportunity to cast it simultaneously, like we did in the other description, right? So it comes controlled. Again, same rune casting, just roll once. Okay. If you fail to overcome his power after already here, or the words, if you fail to do a command spell, right, it becomes hostile. If you try to command an elemental that's already arrived, and you fail to control it, it's going to be hostile towards you. Which also applies to people who try to cast command elemental on elementals you've already brought, because that's written up in something about, be careful about your elementals because somebody else can take control of them. Okay. Any number of elementals can be summoned and controlled by the same adventurer. As long as you got the rune points to get them here and control them. Good to go. The elemental cannot be summoned without at least some reasonable amount of element present, right? It doesn't have to be the size of the elemental in order to bring it here, right? Just, a reasonable amount. Now, is that a candle enough for a small elemental? I would think so. I think it would take a bonfire to get a large elemental, but I could be wrong. Maybe just a normal campfire for both medium and large. Maybe. Or maybe a torch for medium. I don't know. I still think torch would be small. Okay. Then got a little paragraph here. I've got box off. Having once successfully summoned an elemental, the deity sends that same elemental every time that adventurer summons an elemental of that size and type. So if I summon a medium air elemental, John, every time I summon a medium elemental, John is going to come back. Kind of cool. I like that. If the caster summons more than one elemental of that size, how do you do that? Because once you've cast it, it's the same one coming back. I think I mean different sizes. You can choose which one. Well, no, the different sizes are summon different things. This does not make sense now. I have a big question mark after that one. Because you can't summon two at the same time. So if you summon one, and then you summon another one, it's the same one. Unless maybe if you summon during the ones, okay, summon medium elemental, John is here. Summon another elemental, Tom comes. There we go. And while Tom and John are still here, you summon another elemental, medium elemental, and that's going to be, what's the third troll's name? I don't remember. But you got a third guy there. That way you've got three different medium air elementals at the same time. So when you do summon another medium elemental in the future, it can be either one of the three. You get to choose. Okay. I'll put an okay on that one. Let me give a little example here. Okay. Summon fish. This spell summons a small school of fish. Dolphins are not fish, so it won't work. Sorry. To the native waters, they magically appear where the summoning was performed on the melee round after you complete the summoning. Why not strike rank 12 of the same round? What's the difference? I don't know. The size of the school depends on the species of the fish summoned. Okay. Each point stacked. Oh, they did it. I'm sorry. Each point stacked increases the size of the school of fish. So we go from small to more than small. I don't know. A meter's volume worth of fish to 3 meters volume worth of fish to 7 meters volume worth of fish. That's how I would handle it. Okay, new spell, Summon Ghost. Like the Summon Dead, the Ghost rises. A castle with a corpse, grave, or remains of an individual summoned, you must know their name. Okay, back to Gloranthan metaphysical reality, right? If the spirit is in the Caverns of the Dead, it takes a Summon Dead spell to get them. If the spirit resides in the fourth hell, then it takes Summon Ghost to bring them. Interesting. Okay, that's how it works. Spell lasts for 15 minutes. Duh. Okay. Summon Guardian. New spell. This ritual summons a spirit, 2d6 power, 3d6 charisma, to protect the treasures stored within the earth or in a structure dedicated to Azrilia, who is one of the green goddesses or a daughter of Ernalda, if I remember right. Something like that, right? Example, a granary, right? The spirit manifests as a large snake or a large dog. The spell will end if it's killed, which means that the spell duration is special. As long as the guardian's alive, the spell continues. Okay. The guardian spirit knows a D3 points of cult spirit magic, cool, usually heal or demoralize. The spirit is bound to the structure's precincts. Is that inside? Does that include an area around it? It must receive regular worship from the owner and or their companions of the structure, right? Whoever stored within the earth, there is no structure. But anyway, somebody's got to worship this thing, right? Give it magic points. The caster of this summoning spell, the summoner can draw upon the guardian spirit's magic points, while the summoner is within the precincts of the structure. Okay, cool, good to go. Summon Guardian of Thanatar. I messed with some of these using the Cults of Chaos. I think is what it is. The old RQ, actually RQ3, I think it was that came out with. Because my party ran to a Thanatari cult, minor temple thing. Okay, so this spell summons the spirit of a departed cult member from the place of waiting, wherever the place of waiting is. Another, Glorantha metaphysical reality piece. The spirit that you summon then uses spirit combat to attack a specially prepared victim. Okay, so you need to have a victim. Doesn't say that yet, but apparently you do. Okay. If the spirit overcomes the victim in spirit combat, I'm assuming that means bring the victim down to 0 magic points, not just, the first melee round or once. It takes over the body. The body is later killed. Oh, if the body is later killed, the spirit returns to the place of waiting. Okay. The spirit has 2d6 plus 6 for intelligence and 3d6 for its power, but the strength, constitution, size, dexterity, and charisma are those of the victim. It knows 2d6 points worth of cult spirit magic. Wow. And 2d6 minus 5 rune points with an aspect chosen by the game master. I would say with a minimum of 1 with this 2d6 minus 5 thing, similar to the other 2d6 plus 5 we messed with. And I think we are going to end there. Holy cow, 20 minutes! I am sorry, guys. And we just did... One picture did we get 2 out of that? Oh, we did get 2. We did get 2. Okay. That's why I have an X and a Y up there, because I'm no longer... Yeah, we should not have gone this long. Sorry. Happy gaming.